Hello, plant life people. We are live. Our technology is good. My cat is loud. If you hear a weird noise coming from down below, it's just the cat. Don't worry about it. But we are here today on another dark evening, ready to make a cheap, easy, nutritious, and delicious vegan recipe. I'm totally obsessed with Korean flavors lately, so that's what we're doing today. And we're doing a quick salad. So I know it's kind of weird because we're getting into the colder weather here in Canada, but sometimes it's nice to have some fresh veggies. Even though we're all craving something warm, sometimes it's nice to have something a little bit fresh. So we're doing a take on a Korean side dish salad, which is, I believe, typically eaten with barbecue. So this is kind of a side dish, but you could make a really huge one and make it a meal-sized salad, or add maybe some tofu or something to make it a little bit more hearty. So in this salad, we're gonna go ahead and just get started. We have a lot of green stuff. So one of the first things you need for a salad is lettuce. So let's get that. So we just have our bowl of lettuce, super boring, probably what everyone says vegan salads are made out of, but we're going to jazz this one up. So we'll get that ready. And then the rest of the salad is going to have some cucumber. We're going to have some green onions. And then this is a momentous occasion because previous to today, I absolutely hated this vegetable. We're going to be using some snow peas. And that's going to give us a bunch of protein, which is nice. So I'm going to show you how to assemble this and make a really good Korean sort of spicy salad dressing. And I see everybody in the chats. I can't watch it too closely, so I hope you're doing well. But let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing we want to do is prepare our green onions. So one of the suggestions from this recipe that I got, I'm going to show you how to do it, and it kind of cuts the really sharp oniony flavor. So normally you probably wouldn't want to eat like a whole bunch of fresh green onion just all in a mouthful. It'd be pretty strong. So we're going to go ahead and prepare that. So you can see on my other angle, we're going to cut the ends off. And I had this really wonky piece, so we're going to get rid of that. And then what we want to do for this salad is we're going to have long pieces. So if you've watched my other videos, you know that it's really good to make what you're eating all evenly sized or evenly shaped. And then that way it's a lot easier to eat and more pleasurable to eat. So first of all, we're going to cut our onion stalks in half because we wanted a little bit better shape. And then we're going to cut them in half again. And then sometimes you can peel out the layers to make it a little bit easier to cut. So you want to kind of give them a bit of a flatness. And then we're going to cut them as thin as we can. Some of the end pieces, probably where the white is going to be a lot thicker, but you want to make it really thin. So you're going to go like that. This is another thick piece here. Hopefully the closer angle is good for you guys. And then we're going to cut it here. We're talking about, oh, I should make a salad with snow peas, Brussels sprouts, and cilantro. I would barf. I would run for the hills. That's disgusting. But I'm taking it easy. We're easing in with the snow peas. All right. Topped with mushrooms for Frank. You guys know us way too well. So we're looking for really small pieces. This one's even a little bit big. And then you want to get them really nice and thin so that you can get those on your fork. You're going to do the greens as well. So those ones you can kind of pile up, is a lot easier for the greens. And we're going to cut it super thin. Please be very careful with your sharp knives. There we go. So now we have our super thin green onions. So that's all done. And what you want to do, this is the trick to get rid of the super oniony flavor so you don't just get a mouthful of onions, is you're going to soak them in a bowl of cold water for 10 or so minutes. And if you use cold water, it'll keep them crisp. They won't go soggy. So make sure you use like cold water maybe out of your fridge. And they actually go a little bit curly, which is cool. So make sure you soak those green onions. And then we're going to rinse them out here. I'm just going to give them a rinse. And then what I'm going to do is let them dry on this towel for a little bit while we make the rest of the salad. So I'll let them dry out, but apparently rinsing them will get rid of the really sharp onion flavor. So let's let those dry in our towel and we'll do the rest of our veggies. So again, we want to have the same length pieces. So for our cucumber, super easy, and it kind of makes it different to eat cucumber instead of just eating a chunk, is we're going to do just some little curls all the way through on our peeler. And that's, you don't want to go too deep. I went a little bit thick on some of these, but you want to just give it a little bit, and you might start getting a little bit of a lot of wet in the middle, so you can stick to the outside and then you can dip the rest of it in your hummus or whatever. So these are all ready. We can put those right on. Maybe a little bit big. So if they end up looking like they're going to be too big to fit in your mouth, let's break them up. Actually, let's be smart about this and just cut them in half. So then we've got our similar pieces to the onions, and we'll get that in there. And now we're going to do our snow peas. So the original recipe for this had bean sprouts, and you would blanch them to get them nice and soft. Couldn't find any good bean sprouts, so I thought, what's another good bean? Snow peas. Well, not a bean, they're peas, but they have protein. So what we want to do with this, again, we're going to chop them up really small. You can stack them maybe 3 high. I hope I'm not blocking the view over here on this camera. And then you're going to slice them. You probably get them into like 3 or 4 good slices, really thin. And the same thing, if you find that snow pea flavor too strong, if you blanch them in some boiling water and rinse them in cold water, you would get rid of a little bit of that beany flavor. So let's do a few more. And actually it ends up looking, I'll show you on this camera, pretty cool when you cut the beans right in half. So that's kind of a cool look. And something different, like I've never put snow peas on a salad. And so it's something that would be a little bit different if you're cooking for other people. It's always nice to have something new. So we've got now our stack of beans. This is going to end up looking like a pile of green straw at the end, I think, but our dressing is going to make it look fantastic. And then we've got our dried green onions. I'm probably only going to grab about half of these because there's quite a few. And we're going to get that on. So that, again, very green and boring, but we're going to jazz this up. Let's put a little more curly cues on here. And I had a thought when I was preparing this that it's going to end up looking kind of like a Christmas salad because, of course, we are using our Gochujang spicy chili paste, and it's going to make a red dressing. So it's going to end up being kind of a Christmassy recipe, even though it's way too early to talk about Christmas. Are there any crazy Christmas people out there that love Christmas that have already decorated? Not in this house. What are you saying in the chat? Oh, the strong onion flavor. Very good. Yep. Awesome. Okay, now we're doing our dressing. And it's always good, especially if you're trying to eat more veggies, to have some nice sauces that you like. So I've made several sort of dressings or sauces, and this is the first time I've made like a salad dressing out of this stuff. So again, this is the Korean chili paste that we're going to use. And actually, I'm going to put this in last because it's the messiest. So let's switch it up a little bit. First of all, we're going to need some white vinegar. Just plain white vinegar is fine. If you want to try rice vinegar, that would also be like a really good addition to this. And I'm forgetting all my measurements, so I got my trusty phone out here. 4 teaspoons of vinegar. So this is a small recipe, which actually I really liked from this page, is that it serves about 2 people. They don't have a massive recipe. A lot of the recipe websites I find have like huge batches of stuff, and it's just way too much. So we've got our 4 teaspoons of vinegar. We're going to we'll do this first. We need some water. So it is 2 teaspoons of water only, and you can probably adjust that if it's too liquidy or not liquidy enough. So 2 teaspoons of water. It all actually just looks like water in a bowl right now. And then we're going to do sesame oil. So there's about a teaspoon of that. Sesame oil or more if you really love sesame oil like I do. So you're going to put that in. And then we're also going to use a sweetener. So this is a vegan honey substitute. And I think the flavor of the honey is going to help. But if you have just white sugar or something else, go ahead and use that. And that is 1 teaspoon as well. And that's a really good order to do the oil first and then the honey, because now the honey didn't stick to my spoon. And then now we can do the gochujang. I'm saying that probably wrong. And we're going to do 2 teaspoons of that. And I have my tiny whisk. I haven't used my tiny whisk in a long time. So there's 1 and 2. There we go. I love the smell of this stuff. This is a huge batch of it. And actually, I noticed the other day, I don't know if it's vegan or not, but I noticed the other day that PC is now carrying a more liquefied version of the gochujang sauce. I don't know how it tastes, so if anyone's tried it, let me know. But otherwise, I love the regular paste that you can get at the Asian grocery store. And then, to make it a little bit more spicy, we're also going to use some Korean style chili flakes. I'm just going to use a tiny pinch. But again, if you taste this and it's too spicy, just go ahead and add some more sugar to it. All right, so let's see how well we can mix this up. It's kind of a bit hard because the paste is a different texture than the rest of it. So you really want to make sure that's mixed up. Or if you have a bullet blender handy, you can do that. So I'm really curious. I love the smell of it, but I don't know how it's going to taste. You might need to add more sugar. And then you probably have to whisk it pretty well because there's also water and vinegar and oil in there. So you got to get that incorporated. Not too bad. So we've got a nice red color. Hopefully you can see that in this black bowl. All right, so let's actually use this. I'm going to give it a little taste test off the salad. Ooh, it's pretty, ooh. I like that. That is really good. I don't know if it's the sesame oil or like the honey in there, but that is really freaking fantastic. Actually, I think that would be a really good stir-fry sauce as well. I eat a lot of fried up veggies and noodles, and I'm always looking for something different. That is really good. So let's go ahead and dress the salad. People are watching Christmas movies, I see. So here's your Christmas salad. Red dressing on greens. Delicious. And I also think that this is a perfect time for my favorite ingredient. I forgot. Let's find it. Can you guess what it is? It is the everything bagel topping. All right, I'm trying to follow up on the chat here. So we're going to top that up. Oh, yeah. So actually, this would be amazing. I'm picturing this right now with some seared tofu pieces. I think Courtney, who's on, was making sort of a teriyaki tofu the other day. Like put some sort of seared or barbecue tofu on top would be amazing. So, you know, we got a fairly basic salad. But with this amazing dressing on top. And again, this is a nice side salad. Or if you were going to put some tofu, barbecue tofu on top, perfect meal. Look at that. Catching up. Yay! I see all my chats. Okay, now the taste test. So I really want to see if the water, soaking the onions in water actually did the trick. Because we usually, or I like to put chopped up onions like that in my fresh rolls, my rice paper rolls, but then the onion flavor is so strong. So if this works with the water, then I could also use that trick when I'm making my fresh rolls. All right, so let's get all that. I got cucumber, onion. What was the other thing? The beans. Do I have some beans in there? They're all green, I can't tell. I think this is a bean. Here we go. Yeah, that's the bean. All right, let's try it. So I ate that piece of snow pea first, and I really got that flavor. But now as I'm chewing, I'm getting the spice really up front, not overpowering. And honestly, Don't taste the onion too much. It's very mild. I really like how that turned out. I'm actually tasting, I think, the snow peas more than the onion. Yeah, that's definitely a hit. So that's the first time I've made it. And you can see, because of the mix of oil and vinegar and water, it's really sticking to all the pieces well. I really hate, like, there is dressing at the bottom, but I hate some traditional, like, balsamic vinaigrettes that just, like, sink to the bottom. So this is sticking. All right. Well, folks, I'm going to eat this salad. I'm going to let you get on with the rest of your day. Now you know the onion trick. Try it out for yourself. I think in any recipe where you're going to use fresh green onions, it's definitely worth it. Try this salad dressing. Try this as a salad dressing. Try it as a stir fry. I even think it would be great as like a dip for fresh rolls. So usually when we make our fresh rolls, we do that spicy peanut butter sauce. But this would definitely be something quite different to have. It's good to mix it up every once in a while. So that's it. Thank you for joining me, everyone. Please like this video, share it on Facebook or Instagram, please, if you have a chance. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. And if you have any time at all, stick around and watch another video to help me beat those YouTube algorithms. Otherwise, that is it for the Plant Life Canada this week. Thank you for joining me. Thanks for participating in the chat. I don't know, somebody's counting. I don't know what's happening. I'll follow up later. Bye.